Hey third year. So today is lesson 2 of the National 5 Homologous Series. So what I've got, just to sort of start us off, is, well, a starter. Okay, so what I want you to do, if you can pause this video and attempt these questions, okay, because in about 5 seconds I'm going to reveal the answers. Okay, so the very first question, alkanes can be classified as a homologous series. What is meant by that term? That's one of those things that you just need to know off by heart. So a homologous series is a family of compounds with the same general formula and similar chemical properties. So well done if you got that. Question 2, draw the full and shortened structural formula for butane. Okay, so if you need to use that table with the prefixes, that's okay. But means 4 carbons, so we draw 4 carbons. Now remember, the valency of each carbon is 4, so we have 4 bonds coming out each carbon, and then we put hydrogens all around it. And the shortened structural formula is that. Okay, so what we do is we just draw lines between each carbon and we write what we see. So in the first one, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. And then finally, the last one, write the molecular formula for the alkane with 41 carbons. Use the general formula. So you need to know, again, we learned brand new general formula for the alkanes with CN, H2N plus 2. Okay, now if we've got 41 carbons, that's what N equals. So we sub that in. So C41, and then this one here, 2 times 41, add 2. Okay, so 2 times 41 is 82, add 2, that's 84. Okay, so well done if you got that right. Right, now, last lesson I asked you to think about why we named the molecule 2-methyl propane. Before we do that, I want you to put the wee subheading for today's lesson. So rules for naming branch chained alkanes. Okay. Now this won't really make sense until we start doing examples, so bear with it. So the very first rule is identify the longest chain. This will be the last name part of the alkane. Again, don't worry if you're like, oh my god, what does that mean? We are going to do examples, so again, just bear with it, please. Identify the longest chain. Next one you want to do is number the longest chain. Starting from the side closest to the branch. And that's very important, okay? It's the side closest to the branch, and we'll talk about what that means just in a wee while. Number 3, circle your branch, sometimes you can get more than one branch. Okay, so circle your branch / branches. And then the last one, name your branch dependent on the position and number, again number just NO dot shorthand, dependent on the position and number of carbons in the branch. So if we go back to the molecule that we had yesterday, what we're going to do is we're going to use these rules to name this molecule. Right, so so what we're going to do, very first one, identify the longest chain. This will be the last part of the alkane. So the longest chain is 1, 2, 3. It doesn't get any longer than that. Yeah, we can't get 4, we can't get 5. So again, because the longest chain is 3, the prefix for 3 is prop. And because it only contains carbon-to-carbon single bonds, it's an alkane. So the last part of this is called propane. Okay? Now, this bit here, arguably the most important part, number the longest chain starting from the side closest to the branch. Okay? Now, we can either go 1, 2, 3, or we can go 1, 2, 3. Now in this case it doesn't matter, so we can just start on the left side. So 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then what we can do is we can circle our branch, because that's step 3. Okay? Now, in order to do the next part, you need to know this wee table. Okay? So, number of carbons in branch name of branch. Right, if we have 1 carbon in the branch, the prefix for 1 is meth. Now because it's a branch, all branches end in YL. Okay, so that branch becomes methyl. Now, if there's 2 carbons in the branch, the prefix for 2 is eth. And because it's a branch, it ends in YL, so that branch becomes ethyl. If we've got 3 carbons, the prefix for 3 is prop, so that becomes propyl. And then that can go on and on and on. So 4 would be butyl. To be honest, you'll only really ever get asked about methyl and ethyl, but it's always good to know just what happens. So if we go back to our molecule here, if we look at the branch, how many carbons is in that branch? quite straightforward. It's only one. So that tells us the name of the branch is methyl. So this molecule here becomes methyl propane. Now, what carbon is that branch attached to? And you can see it's attached to carbon number 2. So what we need to do is we call this 2 dash methyl propane. Okay? So propane because the longest chain is 1, 2, 3. Methyl because there's only one carbon in the branch, and the 2 because the branch is attached to carbon 2. Right, let's go for this molecule here. Right, so if we look back at our steps, identify the longest chain. This will be the last name part of the alkane. So, the longest chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The longest chain I can find is 4 carbons. Okay, the prefix for 4 carbons is bute, and because it's an alkane, it is butane. Now the second part is number the longest chain starting from the side closest to the branch. And like I said, this is probably the most important step. Okay, so we have 2 options here. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now rule 2 states that we start from the side closest to the branch. Now the side that is closest is the right side. Okay, so we make the right side carbon number 1. So we can score that out, score that out, score that out, and score that out. We always start from the side that's closest to the branch. And then step 3, quite an easy one, circle your branch. Okay, so we circle a branch. How many carbons is in that branch? Well, it's 1. Okay, now if we go back to our table, if we've got 1 carbon, we call that methyl. So that becomes methyl butane. And then what carbon is that attached to? It's attached to carbon number 2. So we write 2 dash methyl. Now very quickly, if I just draw a molecule out again, like so. Don't forget your H's. Right, so again, we identify the longest chain. Longest chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that again becomes butane. Now, rule number 2, we start from the side closest to the branch. What side is closest to the branch? Well, it's the left side. So we make that 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle your branch. How many carbons is in that branch? 1, so that makes it methyl. And then what carbon is that attached to? It's attached to 2. Okay, and what you'll notice that these molecules It's the same. It's the same molecule. All we've done is just taken that and flipped it. Okay, so we've taken that and we've flipped it over. So it's the same molecule. So just be careful with that. And then when we start doing something called isomers, that's very important. Okay, right. Question 3. Right, let's go for this one. Do 2 more. I'll put up a couple more and then we'll end this video quite short. So this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. And then again, make sure every carbon has 4 bonds coming out it. And each bond, if it's not attached to a carbon, make sure a hydrogen is attached to it. Very easy to make a mistake, and if you do make a mistake, you lose a mark, which is silly. Right, so again, very first step. What is our first step? Identify the longest chain. This will be the last name of the alkane. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the longest chain 6. So the prefix for 6 is hex, and it's an alkane, so it's hexane. Number, okay, so if we go back to step 2, number the longest chain starting from the side closest to the branch. So what side is closest? Is it the left or is it the right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we start on the right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then circle our branch like so. Okay, now let's start naming the branch. So how many carbons are in the branch? 1, 2. So you'll see that the name of the branch is ethyl this time. So this molecule is ethyl hexane. And then what number is the carbon on? The branch on, sorry? Number 3. So it becomes 3-ethyl hexane. Right. I'll do one more and then I'll put up some questions for you guys and then we'll call it quits there. Right, this is a good one. This one always tricks people. Sometimes it even tricks me. Right, so step 1, go back to our steps. Identify the longest chain. This will be the last name part of the alkane. Now, what a lot of people do is they just go 1, 2, 3, 4. So the longest chain's butane. However, there is a longer chain. If we start here, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the longest chain is 5. Now, the prefix for 5 carbons is pent. And it's an alkane because it contains only carbon-to-carbon single bonds, so it is pentane. Right, so the next step is number the longest chain starting from the side closest to the branch. Okay, so if we start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't actually matter because the branch is bang in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then step 3, circle your branch. So we circle our branch like that. Now, how many carbons does that branch have? It has 1. So the branch is methyl. and then what carbon is that on? It's on carbon 3, so it's 3-methyl pentane. Right, do some questions for you, and then we'll end the video. So I want you to name these two. So again, follow the steps, see how you get on, and along with the questions that you did in the previous lesson, I will post the answers up once both classes have completed it. So I want you to name that. I want you to name this one here. Now be careful with this one, okay? Identify the longest chain. So important. And make sure you do these steps every single time. Make sure you circle the branch. Every single time. Kind of out of space. Question 3, let's go for and then question 4, I'm going to make it a wee bit different. Okay, instead of getting you to name them, I want you to draw one. So let's go for 3-methyl. Let's go for octane. Okay, so for question 4, I want you to draw that one. I always find drawing them a lot easier, but see how we get on. Okay, and I'll post the answers on Friday afternoon after both classes have finished. Right, thank you.